What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Special K, Kell Brook, weighs in on his highly anticipated November 14th showdown with undefeated three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, and widely considered the number one pound-for-pound boxer in the world, Terence Bud Crawford. With that said, Kell Brook gave his thoughts on why he's so confident going into this fight. Kell Brook hasn't fought at the welterweight 147-pound limit since losing his IBF strap and getting stopped by undefeated unified WBC IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer Earl of True Spence Jr. back in 2017 in his hometown in the UK. With that said, Kell Brook says his newfound confidence, his newfound motivation is watching undefeated two-time heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer Tyson the Gypsy King Fury upset reigning WBC Olympic bronze medalist, heavyweight world champion, American superstar boxer Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder in their rematch. He says that if Tyson Fury can bounce back from everything he's been through, and he could come on US soil and stop the most exciting, the most dangerous, the reigning heavyweight world champion, he says anything is possible. That has motivated him. And that is what he watches. Get this. He watches Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury fights as he's training, as motivation, as a pick-me-up, as confident booster, that he can do the same thing, come over to the United States, UK soil, and once again capture another world title against another undefeated opponent. If you don't remember, he did so when he came to the US, he came to the United States, right? And he captured his first world title. A lot of people don't remember this because Kell Brook has been out of sight, out of mind for the most part. And so Kell Brook is stating that, I came to the US, I did this already, right? This is not a feat that I'm unused to because I came there and I defeated Showtime Sean Porter back in 2014 when Sean Porter was undefeated for his IBF strap. That's how Kell Brook became a world champion to begin with. So he's saying that now he's witnessed Tyson Fury do it. He knows he's done it already. He came here, and Sean Porter has gotten better since then, but Sean Porter is still one of the upper echelons in the welterweight division. He's a two-time welterweight world champion now. He defeated Danny Swift Garcia, who is a two-division world champion for his WBC, actually, should I say, the vacant WBC welterweight world title that was vacated by former unified welterweight world champion Keith one-time Thurman. So now, Kell Brook is stating that he could duplicate what Tyson Fury did, and he has the confidence to come to the U.S. because he's done that already and upset the apple cart and beaten Sean Porter. So he says that I was relatively unknown when I came to fight Sean Porter in the U.S. and I took the belt. And now I'm the underdog, but I witnessed Tyson Fury bounce back from everything he's been through in his life, in his career, and regain his form and regain the world championship and the spot back at the top. Now, obviously, there's a lot that goes on with the Tyson Fury-Deontay Wilder saga because, we know that there's a glove gate situation where Tyson Fury right glove looked like it had little to no padding. The first fight, he had a flappy left glove. Nonetheless, we understand there's an asterisk by Tyson Fury's victory. But with Deontay Wilder, he's looking to get the trilogy match with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's looking to go around it. That's a whole nother story. But when it comes to Kell Brook and Terence Crawford, I think this is a little different situation. I don't think that Kell Brook was ever on the level of Terence Crawford skill-wise. Name-wise, major player in the welterweight division, absolutely. Kell Brook, no doubt, is a great fighter, right? But Terence Crawford, I believe, even before he lost to Errol Spence and before he dared to be great going up from 147 to the 160-pound middleweight limit, challenging then undefeated unified middleweight world champion, reigning superstar boxer Gennady Triple G Golovkin, and breaking his eye socket. Then immediately fighting Errol Spence a year later and breaking his other eye socket. I think that at the height of Kell Brook's career, if he would have fought Terence Crawford, this version obviously of Terence Crawford, because when he beat Sean Porter, Terence Crawford was still at 135. But this version of Terence Crawford at welterweight is too skilled for Kell Brook even then. So I think that this version of Terence Crawford is going to be even more skilled, too skilled for a Kell Brook that is, you know, looking to make a weight he hasn't made in 3 years. Kell Brook that's haven't fought a high-quality, high-profile fight since losing to Errol Spence, being stopped by Errol Spence. A Kell Brook that has suffered 2 injuries. A Kell Brook that has changed trainers and, you know, changed his promoter going into this fight. There's a lot going on with Kell Brook. Not to mention that just skill level-wise, Terence Crawford has more skills. He has more tools in the toolbox to be successful against Kell Brook. And I think that's going to play a major part in this fight. Before the injuries, before the Gennady Golovkin fight, right after the Sean Porter fight, before the Errol Spence fight, I still think that Terence Crawford has the advantages going into this fight. I think that Kell Brook is very stiff. I think that Kell Brook is very robotic at times and can be very predictable. Yes, he has a beautiful 1-2, his jab. He's very technical. But Terence Crawford is above that. Terence Crawford has skills. Terence Crawford can switch from southpaw to orthodox. Terence Crawford could jab. Terence Crawford can fight from the inside. Terence Crawford can fight from the outside. Terence Crawford has speed, and that speed equals the power. Terence Crawford is very accurate. So Terence Crawford just has the upper hand, in my opinion. Kell Brook has been stating that he's been training and preparing for this fight for about 2 months. So he definitely is comfortable where he's at and making the 147-pound limit, because a lot of people feel like he's going to struggle to make that weight. And when you're comparing this to what he did against Sean Porter and what Tyson Fury did against Deontay Wilder, I believe it's 2 different things. For one, Tyson Fury didn't have an injury going into the Deontay Wilder fight. He didn't have 2 major injuries in his career. The issues he had were outside of the ring. They were self-inflicted. Tyson Fury also clearly had, advantages. But like I said, that's for another video. When it comes to Kell Brook, when he took on Sean Porter, he was much younger. Sean Porter was much younger. And he did a lot of excessive holding in that fight as well. Not taking anything away from his victory, but he definitely did a lot of excessive holding in that fight. And, which saw him be victorious. Sean Porter and his father, Kenny Porter, trainer and manager, they complained about the excessive holding in Kell Brook, and they campaigned for a rematch. Kell Brook wasn't willing to give it. So I think it's just different points in their career, different times, and I think that, Kell Brook is, barking up a tree that I don't believe that he can climb, right? A lot of people, Eddie Hearn, his promoter, didn't believe that he could be successful at 147 or beat Terence Crawford. His trainer, Engel, didn't like the fact that it was too short notice and try to get him down to 147. I think that Kell Brook, obviously is grasping for straws as motivational tactics. A lot of people feel like Kell Brook at this point in time is cashing out, looking for a cash out fight. That Kell Brook is not, truly believing in his heart and his soul that he could win this fight. He's just looking to cash out another big fight. I don't believe that. I think that Kell Brook does believe deep down in his soul that he could win this fight. Kell Brook is pointing to references that proves that, right? Looking at the references, watching, he had a video up of him running on the treadmill and watching Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight as motivation. So I think that deep down, Kell Brook does believe that he could pull off the upset. I just don't think it'll come to fruition. I think that, that fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury rematch is fool's gold for Kell Brook. Deontay Wilder clearly didn't look himself. Kell Brook, is going to overlook the fact that everybody does that, Glovegate, you know, his right glove. That's not going to be mentioned. You know, so Tyson Fury had advantages going into that Deontay Wilder rematch that Kell Brook simply will not have going into this Terence Crawford fight. So I'm expecting Terence Crawford to put on a masterclass performance. I'm expecting Terence Crawford to be victorious. And I'm expecting Terence Crawford actually to stop Kell Brook by the 9th round. I think that Terence Crawford accuracy, his pinpoint accuracy with the speed and power is going to have Kell Brook's eye injuries reoccur. Kell Brook is going to be worried about that. It's going to start pouring at the eye, and the referee is going to stop it. I think it's going to be a stoppage victory in favor of Terence Crawford. So let's see how everything plays out. But drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.